National Seniors and Travelmarvel would like to welcome you here today to learn a lot about Canada and Alaska and an escorted tour that we are doing in conjunction with National Seniors. Just to introduce myself, my name is Karen Newbury and I'm the State Manager for APT and Travelmarvel here in Queensland. For those of you who haven't heard of us, APT are an Australian family-owned company and we've been around for 90 years. Travelmarvel is part of the APT Travel Group. So with APT, we have 5-star inclusions, everything that you would like to have included, all the bells and whistles and everything are included. Travelmarvel, on the other hand, offers you fantastic value for money. It's a great holiday and it has all of the must-sees included for you and just gives you a little bit more free time to use as you are travelling along. So APT, I mentioned we've been around for 90 years. We're an Australian family-owned company. Jeff McGarry's father started the company 90 years ago when there was a tram strike on in Melbourne. He had a truck, which you can see on the screen there. And the truck, he built a canopy on the back, he put some seats in the back, and he helped out with the local transportation in Melbourne. He grew to love this and he was a jovial sort of man. He really enjoyed the company of helping people out with transportation. So he decided that he would start up doing day tours, and he's operated day tours throughout Australia. So starting in Melbourne and then Sydney and then Brisbane and Perth, all of the capital cities in Australia. And that grew and grew, and then we decided that we would travel all over Australia. So some of you might know that back in the day we were known as Australian Pacific Touring. Now we travel all over the world. We've got river ships throughout Europe, on the Mekong, in Africa, all sorts of places. So we are now known as the APT Travel Group. Today we're here to talk to you about Canada and Alaska, and especially with Travelmarvel, as we have a great group in place that's going to travel in May 2018 with National Seniors. So why travel with Travelmarvel? Well, I did mention at the beginning that it is a 4-star company. We offer premium holidays and really good value for you. We include all the must-sees in Travelmarvel, and you have a little bit of free time to do your own thing. But being part of the APT Travel Group, we have a 99% customer satisfaction in Canada. So I can pretty much guarantee you that if you travel to Canada with Travelmarvel and National Seniors, you're going to have a fantastic holiday and bring back wonderful memories. And there's lots of inclusions for you, and we're going to talk about some of those as we go through the presentation today. So Travelmarvel, we take care of everything for you. We've got great itineraries that have been perfectly designed for you to make sure that you get the best out of Canada. Travelmarvel includes insider experiences, and these are things that we know you're going to love, so we've included them for everybody. But then in places in Canada that we have 2 nights, we give you the choice of having a little bit of free time to wander around quaint little towns that you're in, or else you can do some optional tours if you would like to. And one of the great things for you for peace of mind is that in Vancouver, we actually have an operations office. So I think that's really good, because in the days, like a few years ago, we had a worldwide situation with the volcanic ash, and it did prevent people getting to and from Canada. If anything like that happens, you can have peace of mind knowing that you have we've got a Canadian office there ready to assist you at any time throughout your travel. The tour directors that we have with Travelmarvel are very well experienced. Most of our Travelmarvel tour directors have been with us for over 10 years. They just like family. They love working for APT and Travelmarvel, and we love having them, and most importantly, guests that travel with us absolutely love them. You'll find they join the trip at the beginning of the trip, they meet their tour director. By the end of the trip, they're just like family. Everybody's exchanging their email addresses so that they can keep in contact with them. Now, when you arrive in Canada, we will pick you up at the airport and transfer you to your hotel. If you decide that you'd like an extra couple of nights in Vancouver before your tour starts, then as long as we've booked that accommodation for you, then we will still meet you at the airport, transfer you to the hotel, and then you'll be there ready to start your tour with Travelmarvel in the next day or so. Now, who likes tipping? None of us do we? It's something that the Aussies and the Kiwis just cannot get used of. So that's why we've included all of your tipping for you. Even when you go on your Alaska cruise, you don't have to pay the $10 or $12 per person per day tipping. It's all taken care of you and totally included before you go. So you don't have to worry about any of that or how much you need to budget for it. So that's a little bit of a peace of mind for you. With Travelmarvel, we offer you freedom and flexibility. So there will be plenty of time to do your own thing, to have a wander around. Like Banff is such a gorgeous little town, and it's really nice to have that free few hours to soak up the atmosphere and just wander in and out of those shops as you go. We do, on the other hand, include all of the must-see sightseeing. So some of the wonderful things that you'll see over there is we'll take you out on the Ice Explorer ride on the Athabasca Glacier. Now that's a must for everybody, and you'll really enjoy that. Butchart Gardens, they are stunning at any time of the year, and we include them for you, but you'll hear some special things that we do at Butchart Gardens just for Travelmarvel guests as well. Another one of our great inclusions is Blue River Safari, which is on one of our itineraries that we do in Canada, where we can take you out and you're pretty much guaranteed of seeing a bear if you're on that one. So there's lots of inclusions for you, depending on what itinerary you pick when you're over with us. We do have premium accommodation. So Travelmarvel is a 4-star premium accommodation. On the screen there, you can see some of the types of accommodation that we use on some of the different tours. So we've got Emerald Lake Lodge, beautiful, pristine lodge setting. We've got the gorgeous Chateau Lake Louise. Now, Lake Louise is a Fairmont property, and we do include it on the special itinerary that we are doing with National Seniors. So that is a huge plus to be able to stay at one of these beautiful 5-star chateaus right on the lake at Lake Louise. So all of the accommodation that we do have with Travelmarvel is in a great position, and you will find it very, very comfortable. We also offer free Wi-Fi at all of these hotels while you're traveling. We've tried to include some great meals for you as well. So I know as I travel a lot, and sometimes I get sick of eating in 5-star hotels or 4-star hotels and out at restaurants having a la carte meals all the time. So we've tried to mix it up for you. We've got a Western style barbecue dinner at the Jasper stables included for you, which you'll really enjoy the authentic barbecue. And of course, when you're in Canada, you're going to get to try some of the beautiful salmon that's readily available for you. Now we'll talk about the Rockies and Alaska itinerary, because that's the one that we are focusing on with National Seniors for our group tour. So imagine being in one of those picture-perfect postcard scenes. You see all those gorgeous pictures on the brochures of the lakes. Picture yourself being there. It's absolutely phenomenal. We travel through British Columbia. Now British Columbia is 4 times the size of Great Britain. You might not actually realise that. Half of the people that do live in British Columbia do reside in Vancouver. It's a lovely city to reside in as well. 2/3 of the land in British Columbia is actually forest. So you can see you've got Vancouver, which is your big city with a lot of the population in it, but you've got surrounded by beautiful forests. And then we also travel through Alberta. Now, Alberta, do you believe, has 600 lakes and 245 rivers. So very, very scenic indeed. And you'll find that Banff and Jasper, those beautiful cities, are located in Alberta. We cruise through the Inside Passage in Alaska. So we do a 7-night cruise that goes from Vancouver back to Vancouver. And we also have some different land journeys available in Alaska. So the group departure that we have with National Seniors is departing Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, anywhere you live in Australia on the 20th of May 2018. So it's not that far away. So get excited. I'm going to show you all of the different things that you can see on this itinerary. So this is a picture of your tour there. So it's a 21-day iconic Rockies and Alaska cruise. With this itinerary, we start in Vancouver. We'll have 2 nights in Vancouver, and then we do sightseeing and everything. We join the beautiful Rocky Mountaineer train, and we travel from Vancouver to Kamloops. We'll spend 1 night in Kamloops, and then the next day travel on to Jasper for 2 nights. Leaving Jasper, we'll travel across the Icefield Parkway to Lake Louise, have a night there at the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, and then on to Banff for 2 wonderful nights. After we've done our touring in Banff, we will head to Whistler, but on the way to Whistler, we'll stay at a beautiful First Nations lodge, and I'll show you a picture of that as we go through the presentation. Then it's on to Whistler for 2 nights. From Whistler, we head over to Victoria on Vancouver Island for 2 nights, and then we cruise at the end of the itinerary. And it's so important that you do pick an itinerary that does do the cruise at the end, because you would have met all your travelling companions when you're travelling through the Rockies, and then when you're on the ship, you'll be able to recognise them. So when you're walking past someone, you'll know that they're actually part of your tour. So that's a great benefit too of cruising at the end. Now, why did we pick May for our presentation? May is my favourite time. I've been to Canada 4 times, and May is my absolute favourite. If you travel at the beginning of the season, which is April, May, you've got a great chance of spotting the wildlife. The bears are coming out of hibernation, so you've got a really good chance of seeing them. And don't we all want to see a bear when we go to Canada? There's also lots of other wildlife around. There's the deer, the bighorn sheep. You'll find eagles. Sometimes you'll see coyotes. With the weather, as far as that goes in May, the average temperature in Banff is 14 degrees. However, that is the average temperature. You don't have to worry about being cold. I think the easiest way to pack when you're going to Canada is to wear layers, because you will find that when you're in any of the accommodation, the rooms are really warm. All of the hotels that we stay at have central heating. So it's actually easier to wake up in the morning over in Canada than it is to wake up here in Australia in winter, because the room is nice and warm. So you'll just wear in the hotels and to the restaurants what you would wear out to a club for dinner here in Australia during winter. You just need that good jacket to put on when you go outside, and when you're up in Alaska cruising through the Inside Passage, you'll need to have your glove and your beanies up there. You will find that some of the lakes will be frozen in May, but it's beautiful. At Chateau Lake Louise, which is my favourite hotel in the world, you'll find that in May you'll have this beautiful blue tinge coming through the ice, and it's absolutely spectacular. I told you that it was the best time to see the bears, and these are a couple of photos that I took when I was over there in May a couple of years ago. So we were travelling through the Icefield Parkways, and we had a brown bear just on the side of the road. Not far up, we actually saw the black bear as well. We did see a grizzly as well, but I didn't put a photo in because the grizzly bear is kind of camouflaged in amongst the forest there. And a lot of Canadians don't even get to see the grizzly bear, so we were very, very lucky. But travelling it in May, you've got a good chance of spotting these beautiful creatures. All right, so with our iconic Rockies holiday, we start off in the beautiful city of Vancouver. So we've got 2 nights in Vancouver. We stay right in the heart of the city. You're very close to everything there. And it is a spectacular waterfront city, a bit like Brisbane. The accommodation that we use on this itinerary is the Marriott Pinnacle Hotel in Vancouver. Great location. You can easily walk around the city. You can walk down to Canada Place. The beds are the most comfortable beds I have ever had in a hotel. In fact, they're that comfortable that you can actually buy them. I couldn't believe it when I was reading through the little impendium there, and it said that you could buy the beds and the bedding. Obviously, they get asked quite a bit. But this is a great hotel. It's very close to all of your popular sightseeing attractions. You can walk out your door and be in the heart of everything. While we were in Vancouver, the first night we arrived there, we have a little welcome reception so you can get to know your fellow travellers. And then the next day we'll do a city tour of Vancouver. So this will take in all the sites, show you Stanley Park. It takes you to Gastown, which is one of the older areas. And those 2 little pictures that you can see at the top of the screen, they are scenes from the Gastown, the popular Gastown area. So we've included that sightseeing for you. In the afternoon, you'll have the choice to just wander around the city yourself on your own, having a look at the shops, or you can do one of our Enhance Your Journey inclusions. So with these, we've got Capilano Suspension Bridge. If you wanted to do that, it's $45. It's a great itinerary. This suspension bridge goes for 140 metres long, and it's 70 metres in height above the river. So quite daunting, but an exciting way to have a bit of a look at a different side of Vancouver. If you're wanting to do something that's closer to your hotel, we're offering the Flyover Canada experience. This is a great IMAX theatre, and you can go in, get seated up, and it's just like flying through Canada. It's an ultimate flying experience. There's special effects like you normally get in an IMAX theatre, so you can actually feel the wind, there's mist, there's scents, you can smell the beautiful forests. You really hang on to your seat and you're gliding through all the different parts of Canada, so through the Rockies and everything. Great experience, and it's only $25 per person, so quite a reasonable price for that. If you're wanting just to go back and have a look at some of those places in more detail that we touched on our Canada Vancouver tour, then we've got the Hop On, Hop Off City Bus. That's $50 per person, and it's a bus that you can get on and off throughout the day anywhere you want to. So if you wanted to spend more time over at Granville Island, you can do that. If you want more time in Gastown, you can do that as well. Or one of the other options we offer is Grouse Mountain. With this Grouse Mountain, you'll travel by gondola up to the top of Grouse Mountain, and you'll get the chance of seeing two of the resident grizzly bears up there, Grinda and Cooler. So you'll be able to get some photos with those bears while you're on this trip. When we leave Vancouver, we have a 2-day Rocky Mountaineer rail journey. This goes from Vancouver out to Jasper, and we will stop in Kamloops for the night. So you can see there a little map of where we're going. When you leave Vancouver on this rail trip, you go out through subtropical areas, which is really quite pretty. And then as you come into Kamloops, it's desert area. So you will notice a vast change in scenery there. The Rocky Mountaineer leaves Vancouver at around 8 in the morning, and it gets into Kamloops around 5 or 6 in the afternoon, depending on the traffic on the railroad. Yes, we're a tourist train, so we actually have to give way to the freight trains over there. But generally you'll find it's late afternoon, 5 or 6 o'clock, you'll get into Kamloops. When we arrive into Kamloops, we transfer you to a hotel for the night. You'll have the night in Kamloops, and the next morning, early in the morning, we'll transfer you back to the train. So you get back on the train in the morning. Both days on this train trip, you'll have breakfast and lunch served on the train. And then the second day, you'll go through the Rocky Mountaineers, which is very picturesque, and on to Jasper, arriving there late in the afternoon. Now, traveling on the Rocky Mountaineer is a fantastic experience. There's 2 types of travel that you can have. With Travelmarvel, we include Silverleaf for you. And Silverleaf has really nice, spacious, reclining seats. You have panoramic windows, so it's very easy to take photos out of the windows. We serve breakfast and lunch both days, and it is served to you on a tray table at your seat. And you've got complimentary beverages, both teas, coffees, and alcoholic beverages included both days during your train trip. The service is exceptional, and I think you'll find it very comfortable. You've probably heard, though, that Rocky Mountaineer does have a gold leaf carriage as well. So you can upgrade to gold leaf if you want to. The cost would be $660 per person for the 2-day journey. The difference a gold leaf would give you is you sit upstairs in the carriage and you've got the big panoramic windows to take photos out of. But for breakfast and lunch, you go downstairs into a little restaurant carriage. You've got your private chef there that will cook you breakfast and cook you lunch. And we've also got an outdoor platform where you can go to take photos outside if you want to. I've traveled both gold and silver. To me, silver is superb and probably all you need. But if you do want to have that little bit more luxury, then gold leaf is a great option for you. On this particular itinerary, we go through past Mount Robson, which is the highest mountain in the Rockies, and you can see a picture of it there on your screen today. That picture, I might say, was taken on a clear day. Some days you don't get as much blue sky as that, but hopefully you'll be lucky. I've done it a couple of times and I've had blue sky both times, so the chances are you will. We get into Jasper late in the afternoon. Jasper is a small town. We have 2 nights accommodation there. This is one of the reasons too that I love this itinerary, is because it has got a lot of the 2-night stops. So you find that you're not packing and unpacking the whole time. So Jasper, we have 2 nights there, and we give you the chance to either have a free day to walk around the town and have a look, or we offer you some little excursions that you can do to enhance your journey there as well. Believe it or not, the Harley Davidson sidecar is one of the most popular. The ladies just love getting in that sidecar and going for a whiz through the mountainside at Jasper there. If you're not into motorbikes though, you've got the Jasper Skytram, or you can go rafting on the Athabasca River. You will get a little bit wet, but we do give you proper coats and boots that you can put on, so hopefully you won't get too wet. It's very, very scenic going down that river, so if you're a little bit adventurous, that's a great one to try. Otherwise, there's an evening wildlife discovery tour that you can do. It's a tour that goes for around 3 hours, and you go out walking and spotting wildlife. So you might get the chance to see coyotes or deer, elk, moose, mountain goats, and the bighorn sheep as well. So lots of variety there for you in Jasper. On our second night in Jasper, we do include a Western style barbecue at the Jasper stables. So this is an authentic barbecue, and as I mentioned, these barbecues are great because it gives you a chance just to mingle with different people and try a different type of cuisine rather than having your normal restaurant food every night. We find that our clients absolutely love it. Then we leave Jasper and we head out to the Malign Canyon. These photos you can see are just photos I took on my phone. So it's a beautiful area. There's lots of waterfalls, streams, birds and plants around that area. And looking down into the canyon, it's about 50 meters deep. So quite impressive scenery. After there, we head on to the Icefield Parkways. And what you can see now on your screen is just a picture of typical scenery as we're going along the roadway. So very nice, a little bit like New Zealand. I think Canada reminds me a bit of home. I'm actually from New Zealand. This is a picture now of the Icefield Parkways. So another reason I love traveling in May is because you get that beautiful contrast. We see all the snow and the ice is going to be around. And I think that you'll agree with me, it's quite stunning scenery as you're traveling through that Icefield Parkway. Then it's on to Athabasca Glacier. So with Athabasca Glacier, this is a must-see for everyone. We take you out in the snowmobile that you can see there, and you'll go out onto the Columbia Icefield. When we're out there, we'll stay out there for about half an hour, and you'll get to find out all about the glaciers and how they've been moving over the years. You can taste the fresh water out here, and they actually say if you do have a sip from the water, from the glaciers, that you will add 10 years onto your life. I'm really lucky. I've been there 4 times, so I gather I've got an extra 40 years on my life. But no, it's a great day. There's a picture there too of just out on the Athabasca Glacier. Then we travel on towards Lake Louise. This is a picture of Bow Lake, and you can see in May you have that beautiful blue tinge coming through, so it's very, very scenic. And this is still continuing on the drive, so some beautiful scenery to be seen as we're going through there. And then we arrive at the stunning Chateau Lake Louise. This would be my favourite hotel in the world, and probably because I was proposed to at this hotel, so it's extra special for me. You can easily do a walk around the lake, and this picture is one that I took from walking around the lake. It's a very flat walk. There's a path right around, and there's seats that you can stop off and stay along the way. Now, I popped this picture in of my husband because even though you're traveling in May, this just shows you we had perfect weather. He didn't even have a jumper on. I didn't wear a jumper either. So even though it's snow and ice around, the weather can be deceiving. So always pack layers so that you can put that extra coat on if you want to put the coat on. After we've had our night at Lake Louise, we'll head towards Banff, and Moraine Lake is a stunning lake that we will make a stop at. This will depend on the weather as to whether or not you can get into the lake. It's one of those lakes that the road to get in sometimes can be a little bit difficult. This year, the road to this lake opened in the middle of May. Sometimes it opens towards the end of May, but we should be able to get there on your itinerary. And if you do, this is what Moraine Lake will look like. Not far then, and we get into the little city or town of Banff. And this is a picture looking down the main street. With Travelmarvel on this itinerary, you'll stay at the Banff Park Lodge, which is right downtown. So you literally walk out of your door and you are right here, as you can see. So you can feel yourself there right at the moment. Bow Lake is just attached to Banff and quite pretty at any time of the year. Now in Banff, the most popular thing that everyone wants to do is go up Sulphur Mountain. So we include a gondola ride up to the top of Sulphur Mountain for you, and then you can spend some time up there. There's a cafe, you can grab a coffee if you're wanting to, and you can take some beautiful photos. This is actually a photo that I took from the gondola as we were going up the mountain, and you can see the beautiful Banff Springs Hotel just at the bottom of the gondola there in the distance. Once again, we're up the top of Sulphur Mountain and not even a jumper on, and this was taken early May, so great weather at that time of the year and very, very scenic because you have got all that snow and ice around. And another view down looking over the Bow River down in Banff. So we have the 2 nights again in Banff, so you have free time to do whatever you'd like to do. And there is lots of lovely little quaint shops to have a wander around. We've introduced a variety of tours that you can do depending on what you'd like to do. One of the new ones for 2018 is you can actually be a Canadian hockey player if you want to. Now, I know that's really adventurous, so you might not want to actually play ice hockey. So if you don't, you can still go along and you can learn about the game and learn all about the Canmore Eagles, which is the famous hockey team that's from Banff. If you'd like to do something different, there's a helicopter ride that we offer over Banff. It looks right down over the Bow River and has some scenic sites for you to have a look at with that one. If it's something a little bit closer that you'd like to do, we do have a golf cart tour. You might think golf cart tour, that's pretty strange. It's not actually playing golf, but the Banff Springs Hotel has a beautiful golf course attached to it. So this is an opportunity for you to go out and do a tour in one of the golf carts of this beautiful golf course there. Or if it's canoeing you'd like to do, you can go for a canoe tour down the Bow River. Or there's a Banff Experience tour that you can do that will take in some wildlife hunting, go out and look for some wildlife. You can learn about the history and the people in Banff. And this trip actually also takes you out to Johnston Canyon, which is about half an hour's drive from Banff. It's a beautiful canyon and there's a lovely walkway that you can go through and see lots of waterfalls on that particular trip. So we've had our great 2 nights in Banff, and then we're heading off to Whistler, but we do make a stop on the way, and this one is Quout Lodge and Spa. This is set in a gorgeous setting. It's right on the lake. It's got a beautiful valley and some mountains behind it. And the thing I love about this one is that it is a First Nations inspired lodge. So it's owned by the First Nations people. You'll get to talk to them. You'll get to do a walking tour with them. And then we have a First Nations inspired dinner at night time. You can talk to the First Nations people. They are lovely. They will tell you the history of the Indigenous people in Canada. They will share their family life with you. They'll even sing you some lovely spiritual songs. It's a really spiritual overnight stay. And the comments that we get back from our past passengers on this lodge are absolutely amazing. They love it and they really rate it 10 out of 10. So that's something to look forward to on this itinerary. And then we get into Whistler. So 2 nights in Whistler. We stay in Whistler right in the heart of it at the Summit Lodge. So you can see a picture of it there. You literally walk out your door and you are right there. You're close to the gondola, so you can catch the gondola up the mountain if you're wanting to in your free time, or lots of quaint shops and coffee shops and things for you to do around there. This picture up on the screen now just shows you a picture of what the actual rooms are like within the lodge. So you can see they are very clean and very comfortable. Perfect little setting for 2 nights. Nice and cozy. Whilst we're in Whistler, we also have a cultural feast at the Little Wat Squamish Cultural Centre. So you'll have another interaction with the Indigenous First Nations people in Canada and learn lots about their history and their tradition. You've got free time in Whistler as well. So if you'd like to do some extra sightseeing, we offer a float plane trip that you can do. You can go in the peak-to-peak gondola. Now this gondola goes from Whistler across to Blackcomb, and it is the widest gondola that in the world that doesn't have a support pole from it. I think it's 3 kilometres that it stretches wide. So that's a great thing to do. There's other things too. If you're feeling a little bit more active, we've got tree trekking. So there's a tree trek that you can do. Zip trekking, if you want to do some zip trekking, it's like flying foxes through the valleys. You wouldn't want to be scared of heights if you do that. Lots of different options for you there in Whistler. And then we leave gorgeous Whistler behind and we head over to Victoria on Vancouver Island. So Victoria, beautiful little city, flowers everywhere, great little space, great little place to end your time in the Rockies and in British Columbia. Victoria is the capital of British Columbia and it's situated at the southern end of Vancouver Island. I mentioned that there's lots of flowers and everything around. It's got 70 parks within the city area. So it's known as the City of the Gardens over there. Very bike friendly. You'll see people riding bikes because there's lots of little paths around the water in Victoria. The hotel that we stay on your itinerary is the Marriott Inner Harbour Hotel. So another Marriott property, great 4-star property, very central location. It's got an indoor pool there, a whirlpool and a steam room, and it's located right near the harbour. So it's walking distance to all the attractions and shopping in Victoria. We've got the 2 nights there, so you get a chance to have some free time again or to go out and have a look at something different. You might like to go out and do one of the whale watch tours. The whales, I know we have whales here in Australia, but over in Victoria, they have the orca whales. So you get the chance to go and have a look at the orca whales. On that particular cruise that you do, you'll also see lots of sea lions and seals. So it's a great little option. You can do it in the catamaran that you can see in the picture, or if you're a little bit more adventurous, there is a separate trip that you can do out in a Zodiac that goes a little bit faster. You can see that on the left side. Another option that you have is a seaplane flight. So you might like to take off right from the harbour there, do a bit of a seaplane flight, and you can have a look down over Victoria and Vancouver. So that's quite spectacular as well. Picture there of the whales. As I mentioned, we have the humpback whales, killer whales, and there's minke whales as well. So get to have a look at those, and there's lots of marine birds as well over in Victoria. And of course, you wouldn't go to Victoria without seeing Butchart Gardens. So these are stunning at any time of the year. Butchart Gardens has usually about 1 million visitors a year, so that's a lot of people. Well, guess what? We want you to really enjoy Butchart Gardens, so we take you there in the evening and we'll have a beautiful dinner. It's exclusive to Travelmarvel, so we have dinner in the special Butchart Residence Family Cafe overlooking those gardens. So that's fantastic because you'll be able to get photos in there without people in the background. The gardens actually closes, and this is especially for us. So we'll have our farewell dinner there before we join the cruise ship. Then it's off to Alaska. So the moment we've all been waiting for. In Alaska, we cruise with Holland America. We choose to cruise with them because they have the grandfather rights. The grandfather rights mean that they have priority docking in all of the towns that we go to. And that is a huge benefit because I've been to Alaska a couple of times and I've seen other ships anchor out and you tender ashore. Well, with Holland America, having those grandfather rights means that they get priority docking. You are docked right at the wharf, and only about 3 ships can do that. So you can get on and off the ship whenever you're wanting to. With Holland America, we offer you we give you an ocean view stateroom. So you've got an ocean view. If you're wanting to upgrade to a balcony, you can certainly upgrade to a balcony, no problems at all. You will find though up in Alaska, it's going to be cold. You're not going to be sitting out on your balcony much. So having the outside room to me was quite adequate. I really enjoyed it. The other benefit of cruising with Travelmarvel is that we go to Glacier Bay. Now, I've been to Alaska a few times. It wasn't until the first time that I went that I actually found out some really important facts. It's like you can look at itineraries and they might go to Hubbard Glacier or to Tracy Arm, but Glacier Bay is a true highlight and only 2 ships are allowed in there a day. This particular itinerary, we're guaranteed that we do go into Glacier Bay. Now, on the 7-night itinerary cruising Alaska, our first stop is Juneau. Great little town. You can do an optional tour from Juneau if you want to, or you can easily just walk around the town. So if you're wanting to do anything like go out and do the dog sledding and the dog mushing, this is the place to do it from. Otherwise, you can walk around the town, If you do walk around the town, I would strongly suggest that you go to the Red Dog Saloon. So make sure you write that down, the Red Dog Saloon. It's a must. If you don't want to do a tour as such, when you get off the ship in Juneau, you can purchase a ticket for about $8 or $9 and there's a local bus company that do a shuttle run out to Mendenhall Glacier. So you can see a picture that I've taken there of Mendenhall Glacier on your screen. You can go out on the shuttle bus and you can spend as much time out there as you want to, because the shuttle runs about every 10 to 15 minutes, so you can go back whenever you're wanting to go back. Just showing you some of those pictures. You can walk right out on the glacier out there, so that could be a nice way to fill in your time there. There's a picture there on your screen of the Red Dog Saloon. This is a must. As I mentioned, it's located very close to where you'll get off the ship. You've got those beautiful swinging doors there. Inside this Red Dog Saloon, there's sawdust on the floor. I'm not going to give away too much of it because I want it to be a surprise for you, but do make sure you go there because you'll have a really enjoyable hour or two in there before you set sail. Then we go up to Skagway. So Skagway is a town that if you're wanting to go out to do the Yukon Railway White Pass, it's a train trip through the Yukon. I highly recommend it. This one does need to be pre-booked. With all of your tours that you do on the Alaskan cruise, you do need to pre-book them online. So if you're not sure how to do that, this is the benefit of going through National Seniors, because they will help you do those bookings for you. And I know the White Pass Railway trip you won't actually get on if you haven't pre-booked it, so make sure you do. Travelmarvel also offer you 10 to 15% discount on a lot of the tours that Whole America offer in Alaska. And then the day that we've been waiting for, Glacier Bay. Absolutely spectacular, takes your breath away. We spend the whole day in there. So only 2 ships a day are allowed in Glacier Bay. We start going in around 7 in the morning. We spend the whole day in there and we exit about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're joined by rangers that come on board for the day, so there'll be commentary the whole time we're in there on any flora, fauna, the sea life, the glaciers, how the glaciers are moving, all that sort of thing. So you'll find it very, very interesting. And just got a couple of photos there of in Glacier Bay so you can see how spectacular it is. You will literally hear the ice breaking in front of you, and it's like a building falling down. Like, it's that noisy, it's unbelievable. And the last port of call in Alaska is Ketchikan. So Ketchikan, set up like an old little Alaskan town. In my opinion, you don't really need to pay to do anything extra here. You can walk off the ship, walk around Ketchikan. Ladies, if you're interested in jewelry, Ketchikan has some fantastic deals with the gems. They have a Alaskan topaz, which is a beautiful stone. It's got the blues and the purples and the pinks and the greens on it. And you can easily walk over to Creekside, which there's a picture of on your screen now. So it's how Alaska was set up in the olden days. There's lots of quaint little shops in there that you can have a nosy through while you're in there. And then we cruise back to Vancouver, and that's where the tour finishes. But if you'd like to do something extra, we do have a extension that you can do to Great Bear Lodge. So if you really want to get out there and go hunting for the bears, this little extension could be for you as well. You could add it on to the end of your iconic Rockies tour. So we fly out from Vancouver to Port Hardy. We have a night in Port Hardy, and then people from the lodge come across in their seaplane, pick you up and take you back to their lodge. You'll spend 3 nights there, and you've pretty much got all of your meals included, and 4 different viewing sessions of the bears. So you can go out in the boats, you can go out by 4-wheel drive, and you're pretty much guaranteed of seeing those wonderful creatures while you're on that extension. You can, of course, after you've done the West Coast, continue on to Canada's East Coast if you're wanting to, and make the most of your trip to Canada. I've just put a sample of an itinerary out there that you could do. So we can take in Niagara Falls, Toronto, Ottawa, Quebec, and then you have the option of doing a cruise from Montreal round to Boston, and you could even continue down to New York if you want to. So that's just a little extra option. Picture there of Niagara Falls for you. So that's one of the highlights of doing Eastern Canada. Now, I can't cover everything today, unfortunately, because we are limited in time, but today I hope you enjoyed it. We really wanted to just concentrate on our National Seniors group departure for 2018, because it will be a great itinerary, and it will be escorted by National Seniors, subject to them receiving the numbers that they need on the bookings. We are offering some early bird offers. So we do have 2 for the price of 1 with airfares. So that means that one person pays and one person gets a free airfare. Otherwise, we've got an upgrade to premium economy. So premium economy gives you more space. It's like a business class seat, and you can pay $2,595 per person and actually travel in premium economy, which could be more comfortable for you. If it's business class you're after, we've got a great deal, $5,995 per person. And we do have different deals as well. So extra bonuses you can have if you're traveling with other people. You can save a further $600 per couple if you get a group of 6 of you. The tour is priced at $10,295 per person, but National Seniors have a special members price of $9,995. So that's a fabulous saving for you. If you're a single, $13,945. And the special National Seniors price will be $13,595. So you're saving $400 off that for a single. Great little saving there. Because you've listened to the webinar today, we will offer you an extra $200 per couple if you do make a booking with National Seniors within 7 days. If any of you have got any inquiries, you can send a note in for questions and we'll answer them at the end. If not, you have got a phone number on your screen, which is 1300 883 750. You can ring National Seniors on that number, or you can email National Seniors travel@nationalseniors.com.au. I'll just leave that there for a second so that you can have a look at it. It's travel@nationalseniors.com.au. So thank you very much for joining us today. If you do have any further questions, as I said, please contact National Seniors. I'm sure that this trip will be a trip of a lifetime, and no matter what you decide, when you're traveling to Canada and Alaska, I know you'll thoroughly enjoy it. So have a wonderful holiday. Thank you.